our next guest, ripped from the headlines, really, because this gentleman was in the news recently, and we'll talk about that. It is Chris Cuvelier, the founder and head of Beverage at Zola, Caliva.
Hey, Martin.
A lot of stuff going on, man. We need to get your title correct because it's recently changed, right? Head of Beverage now at this new combined entity. Can you sort of let's just recap, because that happened relatively recently, sort of the, Caliva acquiring Zola, and sort of what does that mean for the new entity that's formed there?
Sure. Where do I start with that? Let me back up.
What is the focus of the new company?
Yeah, I'm gonna go way back. So we were acquired by Carp Riley in 2016. We doubled down on our commitment to plant-based, started looking at hemp-based CBD in 2018, and I had an opportunity to speak at a beverage conference in October of 2018. It was paired with Dennis O'Malley, who is the CEO of Caliva. We got along very well. He is a big believer that beverage will be one of the largest categories for cannabis, and asked me to do some consulting. So we're building out a cannabis beverage program there, and several months into the process of consulting, we discussed Caliva acquiring Zola with the idea that I would be able to build out a portfolio of cannabis-infused beverages, and Zola would be the company that would bring hemp-based CBD to the mainstream market.
Gotcha. So sort of separate, under the sort of cannabis umbrella, but separate THC and CBD sort of concentrations and focus.
Yeah, correct. So today, Caliva is one of the leading cannabis companies in North America. California makes up 35% of the cannabis revenue in North America, so it's the number one market by far. And one of the things I was very impressed with was the complete vertical integration. So the facility is 110,000 square feet. The owners of the business got every single license you can get. So there's 13 cultivation rooms, there's oil extraction, there's manufacturing capabilities, and then also what a lot of people don't see is distribution. So within the 500 or 600 licensed dispensaries in the state of California, Caliva has a DSD distribution network to 250 of those, and it's growing. So it's an absolute powerhouse within the state of California. And the idea of the Zola acquisition is to build a portfolio of products in the hemp-based CBD world, to introduce Caliva to the mainstream market, and then bring them into the brand as a plant-based solution, whether it's hemp-based CBD, which obviously is non-psychoactive, or as people want to migrate into something that is psychoactive, whether it's a fun-for-you category or a social lubricant, whatever it is, they already know that, the Caliva brand.
And you guys just recently announced, I think just a couple of days ago, your first partner to sort of merchandise, and that being Mood 33.
Yeah, exactly. So what we're building at Caliva today is a manufacturing facility for beverages under roof at the facility. So we're building out a portfolio of our own branded products, which Caliva currently has today, cutting across multiple categories, such as vape pens, lotions, etc. And then we're also partnering with brands we feel that are great brands, would be great partners, and we're calling them partner brands, that we can plug into our distribution and help go own that category within the state of California.
Well, this is really, really interesting because it's like it's a brand new sort of thing, like selling beverages in dispensaries and that kind of thing. And it was really interesting to read the article that we published about, that merchandising is going to be a big focus. I mean, how do you sort of, I don't even know where to start almost. It's like, how do you go about finding the right place in these dispensaries that are all selling one form of the same product? How do you sort of display them or put them in a way that is attractive to consumers and bring people in as you would in a normal retail environment?
Yeah, one at a time, literally, right? So, today I think beverages is really an afterthought in the cannabis industry. Where we see it going is it's a smoke-free way to ingest cannabis. And if you're not adding preservatives, you're not adding a lot of junk, and you're coming up with a product that would work well in the mainstream, meaning clean label, better for you, that's tied in with health and wellness, if someone is able to have that product perform and be that social lubricant or have the health and wellness benefits, that's a huge plus. So a lot of the dispensaries today, it's really been set up for flower and vapes. And so I think there's going to be merchandising vehicles that we're going to bring in that puts cannabis beverages right in the forefront of consumers. So the second thing is activation, right? You can't do a lot of marketing. So really activating within the dispensaries is a huge play. So for example, the Mood 33 guys, not only do they have a great product and a great brand, I've known Eric Schnell for a long time. Eric's a great guy. They clearly understand beverage. So to be able to put together merchandising programs and put that product in front of consumers and then allow the brand ambassadors that Mood 33 has do the education to the consumers is going to be powerful. In addition to that, at Caliva, we also have a very big direct-to-consumer business. So people can go to Caliva.com and order product, and that product can be delivered direct-to-consumer through our Ease partnership or through our own distribution network of delivery drivers. So we think that that's going to be a big play coming down the pike here pretty quickly. Our goal is that think of it as a hub and spoke model. So if you have the hub as the dispensary, which acts as the warehouse of the products, so you're selling out of that warehouse directly to consumers, but the delivery drivers can pick up product there and distribute that direct to consumer. So we are in the process of acquiring or expanding our distribution footprint with those warehouses. It's our hub and spoke model. And by the end of 2020, we'll have direct to consumer capability to 70% of the population in California. So it's an opportunity to bring people into dispensaries, educate them, getting them hooked on the products they like, and then we can convert them over to that direct to consumer model.
And obviously California being sort of the hub where a lot of this activity is taking place, but as states are changing all the time, and just this past week there's been a couple announcements and different sort of regulations. Are you guys looking to sort of, do you have to take a sort of proactive, stay ahead of the curve, waiting for sort of regulations to open up, and so you can be sort of in place to take advantage of markets when they open?
Yeah, the word is dynamic, right? This whole category is dynamic because there's so much media out there creating so much demand for the products. So there's a couple things. One is education's got to happen of what these products are actually doing. And that education is twofold. One, it's obviously education of the consumer, and the brands that do that well are going to win. They're going to make those consumer connections. But the second is, even from a regulatory standpoint, being able to coach or provide insights and information to retailers to help them navigate this regulatory environment. At Caliva, because we're big enough, and we've been doing this for a little while, we have a lot of resources. So we have people at the federal level and people at the state level that are involved in the regulatory decisions. So for example, in the state of California, we have lobbyists that are involved, and we are actively writing some of the regulatory framework today, which is great. So we're able to take our retail partners and be a resource for them, which is how we're able to build trust with the partners, which is one of our main things, is to be one of the most trusted cannabis lifestyle brands.
Talk to me a little bit about, you mentioned you're building a portfolio of brands that would, fit under hemp, CBD, THC space. How do you create that diversity within that? I mean, we have the idea, okay, this has 15 milligrams of CBD and it's a sparkling water. But how do you sort of create different categories and create a whole family of products that uses CBD but aren't all the same?
Yeah, great question. To us, it's all about the consumer. So what consumer groups are you targeting? What is the usage occasion for that product? And then how do the ingredients combined with the hemp-based CBD fulfill that need? The interesting thing about this category is because of the limited regulatory, or the regulatory environment being limiting to distribution, and because the media is talking about these products, it's hard to get. So there's so much pent-up demand that we feel that the speed is going to be quick, is going to be paramount. So getting to market quickly and then being able to execute is going to be critical. So today at Caliva, we have a portfolio of brands in the cannabis side, brands like Fun Uncle, Reef Leaf, things like that. So we're going to take that category approach as it relates to beverage. So you might see a Caliva branded product, you'll certainly see a Zola branded product, and then some other sub-brands that would be powered by Caliva.
Well, Chris, thank you so much for joining us. I'm a big fan. I'm going to be watching the development very closely and very interested in the products that you'll be putting out. So thank you so much for joining us, Chris, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Martin.
Cool.
Appreciate it.